Have you ever stepped out of the shower feeling lightheaded, your heart racing a little too fast, and thought to yourself, maybe it's just age catching up with me? What if I told you that the way we shower, something we've done every single day for decades, could quietly increase the risk of a stroke? It may sound unbelievable, but for many older adults, small daily habits in the bathroom can make a big difference for both the brain and the heart. Picture this. It's late at night, the house is quiet, and you're getting ready for bed. A warm shower feels like the perfect way to relax. Or perhaps it's early morning, and you want that refreshing splash of cold water to wake you up. These moments may seem harmless, even comforting. But hidden inside them are risks doctors have warned about for years, especially for people over 60. In this video, we're going to uncover 7 dangerous showering habits that could silently raise your chance of a stroke without you even realizing it. Some of these habits may surprise you because they feel so normal, almost second nature. That's exactly what makes them risky. We don't question them until something serious happens. If you've ever wondered whether your shower routine is truly safe, type the number 1 in the comments. If you've never thought about it before, just type 0. And don't forget to subscribe to Health 365, because your health deserves daily care and attention. So, let's step right in and talk about the first shower habit that could silently put your health at risk. 1. Showering late at night. Taking a shower late at night might feel like the perfect way to unwind after a long day, but for older adults, it can quietly turn into a dangerous habit. As the sun sets, the temperature outside usually drops, and so does the body's natural core temperature. When we're younger, blood vessels adapt quickly, expanding and contracting to keep circulation stable. But once we reach our 60s and beyond, arteries lose flexibility. They become stiffer, more fragile, and less able to respond to sudden changes. Stepping into a shower late at night, especially in a chilly bathroom, can cause those vessels to constrict abruptly. That constriction limits blood flow to the brain and the heart, increasing the risk of stroke. Doctors often describe it this way: when the body cools suddenly, vessels act like an old garden hose, stiff and fragile. Instead of stretching smoothly, they clamp down. In just a few minutes, blood pressure can spike or circulation can suddenly fall. One of my patients, a 70-year-old man from Ohio, had a routine of showering close to midnight. He believed it helped him sleep better. One particularly cold evening, he stepped out of the bathroom and told his wife he felt lightheaded. Moments later, he collapsed on the couch. At the hospital, scans confirmed he had suffered a stroke. Doctors explained that the sudden vessel constriction from showering late at night was a major factor. His family was shocked because the habit had seemed harmless for years, yet it nearly cost him his life. So how can you protect yourself? The safest option is to avoid showering too late. If you enjoy evening showers, try to bathe earlier, before the late-night temperature drop makes your body more vulnerable. Always make sure your bathroom is warm before stepping in. Running hot water for a few minutes or using a small heater can help stabilize the environment. Most importantly, listen to your body. If you feel chilled, dizzy, or your heart starts racing while showering, step out immediately and rest. Staying healthy doesn't mean giving up comfort. It means adjusting your routines so they support your heart and brain. And as we continue, you'll see that even a refreshing cold shower in the morning can hold unexpected dangers. 2. Starting the day with a cold shower. Many people swear by cold showers in the morning, saying it's the fastest way to feel awake and energized. That icy splash might sound harmless, but for older adults, it can quietly put enormous stress on the heart and brain. The moment cold water touches the skin, blood vessels constrict sharply. It's the body's natural response to preserve warmth, but it also forces the heart to pump harder through narrowed vessels. For someone in their 60s or 70s, that sudden pressure can be overwhelming. Think of it like forcing water through an old, stiff pipe. The pressure builds quickly, and instead of flowing smoothly, it can cause cracks or blockages. In the human body, that means a sudden spike in blood pressure and, in some cases, the creation of dangerous clots that may travel to the brain. That's when a stroke can strike without warning. I'll never forget what happened to my neighbor, Mr. Harris. At 70, he was strong, independent, and loved trying new health trends. After reading about the benefits of cold showers, he decided to start his mornings with freezing water. For a couple of weeks, he told everyone how refreshed he felt. But one morning, after stepping out of the shower, he collapsed on his porch. He was rushed to the hospital, where doctors confirmed he had suffered a stroke. The sudden shock to his blood vessels was simply too much for his aging body. His family was devastated because it all began with what seemed like a harmless routine. So, what's the safer choice? Instead of plunging straight into cold water, start with lukewarm water and, if you like, gradually cool it down at the very end. This way, your body adjusts slowly without the shock. And if you live with high blood pressure or heart conditions, it's best to avoid cold showers altogether. Protecting your health isn't about giving up every comfort, it's about making small, wise choices each day. And just as cold water can shock the body, soaking too long in hot water can also create serious risks. Clean and refreshed. That's how most people feel after a shower. But did you know that this simple daily habit can sometimes put your brain at risk? After eating, blood flow naturally shifts toward the stomach and intestines to help with digestion. If you step into the shower immediately afterward, the warm water redirects blood toward the skin at the same time. This sudden competition can leave the brain with reduced circulation. In older adults with more fragile blood vessels, this creates the perfect setting for a stroke. Doctors often describe it as a tug of war. On one side, the stomach demands more blood to process food. On the other side, the skin and blood vessels dilate from the heat of the shower. In the middle, the brain is left shortchanged. And when oxygen supply drops, the risk of clots forming or vessels collapsing rises sharply. I remember the story of my friend's father, Mr. Thompson, who was 65. After a large Sunday lunch, he took his blood pressure medicine and decided to shower right away. Within minutes, he felt weak and collapsed in the bathroom. At the hospital, doctors confirmed that he had suffered a mild stroke. They explained that the timing, eating, taking medication, and then immediately showering, had combined to lower circulation to his brain. His family was stunned, because the routine had always seemed so ordinary. The solution is straightforward. After eating a meal, wait at least 30 to 60 minutes before showering. This gives your body time to digest without overwhelming the circulatory system. If you've just taken medication, especially for blood pressure or heart conditions, be extra cautious. Sit and rest for a while before stepping into the bathroom. Drinking a little water beforehand can also help keep blood flowing smoothly. Protecting your health often comes down to patience. A short wait can prevent a dangerous outcome. Now that we've explored all 7 risky shower habits, let's bring everything together with a warm reminder about the small choices that truly keep you safe. We've gone through 7 everyday shower habits that may seem ordinary but carry hidden dangers for older adults. What feels like a simple routine, whether it's a late-night bath, a cold splash in the morning, or stepping into the shower right after a meal, can quietly strain the heart, the brain, and fragile blood vessels. The good news is that every single one of these risks can be reduced with small, thoughtful changes. Drinking a glass of water before bathing, waiting a little while after exercising or eating, or simply paying attention to how your body feels can turn a risky habit into a safe and healthy routine. Your health isn't built on big, dramatic decisions. It's shaped by small daily choices made consistently over time. By protecting yourself in these simple ways, you're not only lowering your chance of a stroke but also giving yourself more years of independence, energy, and time with the people you love. Think of these habits as small acts of self-care, gifts you give yourself every single day. So I encourage you to pause and ask, which of these habits do you need to adjust in your life? Even one change today can make a difference tomorrow. Have you ever heard of someone who went for a walk in the evening and never came back? It's heartbreaking, but it happens more often than you might think. A quiet evening stroll, something so ordinary and peaceful, can turn into a moment that changes everything. And for many older adults, the danger doesn't always come from a fall or traffic. Sometimes, it's something deeper, happening silently inside the body. Now, I know what you're thinking. Walking is supposed to be healthy, right? And it absolutely is. But not all walks are created equal. The time of day, the weather, even how you move your arms or when you last ate, these factors can quietly transform a harmless stroll into a health hazard. That's why today, we're going to talk about something most people overlook. 6 walking habits that can actually raise your risk of stroke, especially as we get older. You might be surprised how small changes in your walking routine can make a big difference in keeping your heart and brain safe. But don't worry, this isn't one of those preachy health talks. Think of it like a friendly chat, just you and me, figuring out how to walk smarter, not harder. Some of what you hear might sound familiar, but today we're digging into the why and what you can do to stay safe. If you've ever gone on an evening walk, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, just type 0. And don't forget to subscribe to Health 365 so we can keep bringing you tips that truly matter. Now, let's dive into the very first thing that might be making your evening walks riskier than they should be. Tightening of your arteries can cause blood pressure to spike suddenly, especially if you're walking uphill or pushing against a strong wind. For people with narrowed arteries or a history of stroke, this surge in pressure can be dangerous. The American Heart Association has even noted that stroke risk rises during colder months, partly due to these vascular reactions. In fact, a study published in Stroke, a journal of the AHA, showed that adults over 65 were more likely to suffer strokes on days with large temperature swings. The body struggles to adjust, and the cardiovascular system takes the hit. Take Mary, a 68-year-old retired teacher I know. She loved walking every morning, rain or shine. One winter, she went out on her usual route in the woods, where the temperature hovered in the low 40s. She thought she'd be fine. But just 10 minutes in, she felt chest tightness and had to sit down. Thankfully, a neighbor saw her and rushed to help. At the hospital, doctors explained her blood pressure had spiked dangerously because of the cold and the exertion combined. The good news is, you can take control of this. In hot weather, walk early in the morning or closer to sunset, and always bring water. In cold weather, layer up, warm up indoors first, and keep your walks shorter. And most importantly, if the weather feels off, it's okay to skip the walk. Your safety comes first. Now let's talk about the ground beneath your feet, something we rarely pay attention to but that can quietly increase your risk in ways most people don't expect. At first glance, uneven, sloped, or bumpy terrain seems harmless. It's just part of a neighborhood route or a favorite trail. But walking on these surfaces forces the body to work harder to stay balanced. Your heart rate jumps up faster, breathing becomes more intense, and your leg muscles have to engage deeply to keep you steady. That extra effort might feel like a good workout, but for seniors, especially those with high blood pressure or fragile blood vessels, it can turn risky very quickly. Here's why. Sudden changes in physical effort can cause sharp spikes in blood pressure. If your arteries are already weakened, that surge could lead to a rupture, what doctors call a hemorrhagic stroke. Even worse, if you have plaque buildup in your arteries, those added demands could dislodge a piece of plaque, creating a clot that travels to the brain and causes an ischemic stroke. Researchers from the University of California studied older adults walking on different types of surfaces. They found that when participants walked uphill or on uneven terrain, their systolic blood pressure rose significantly higher than when walking on flat ground. The rise only lasted a few minutes, but for someone with vascular vulnerabilities, that was enough to trigger real danger. I remember Jim, a 74-year-old former contractor who loved hiking in the hills behind his house. One day, after a steep climb, he suddenly felt weak and confused. He sat down, tried to catch his breath, but something wasn't right. He was rushed to the ER and diagnosed with a minor stroke. His doctor later explained that the combination of effort and heat had pushed his blood pressure too high, too fast. To protect yourself, choose flat, even walking paths whenever possible, like local parks, tracks, or quiet sidewalks. If you love the challenge of a hill, take it slow. Stop often. Pay attention to how you feel. And if your doctor has warned you that your blood pressure is unstable, avoid steep terrain altogether. Finally, let's look at one last walking mistake, something incredibly common yet so easy to fix. It has nothing to do with weather or terrain. Instead, it's about what you're not doing before your walk: staying hydrated. Walking while even slightly dehydrated can quietly set the stage for something much more serious than dry lips or fatigue. It can thicken your blood, increase clot risk, and raise your chance of a stroke, especially at night. Here's how it works. When you're dehydrated, your blood becomes more concentrated, thicker, if you will. Thick blood flows more slowly and is more likely to form clots. For older adults, especially those with high cholesterol or vascular disease, this creates the perfect storm. The danger often creeps in after the walk, when your body is resting. At night, heart rate drops and blood flow slows naturally. If your blood is already thick from dehydration, this sluggish flow can allow clots to form. If even a tiny clot travels to the brain, it can cause a stroke without warning. That's why so many strokes happen in the early morning hours. One study published in Neurology found a clear link between low fluid intake and ischemic stroke risk in older adults. People who consistently drank less than 1.5 liters of water a day had significantly higher clot markers in their blood. I think of Betty, a 76-year-old who was dedicated to fitness. She walked every afternoon, stayed active, and ate well, but she disliked drinking water, saying it made her feel bloated. One night, after her usual walk and dinner, she felt fine. But the next morning, she woke up with slurred speech and weakness on one side. She'd had a minor stroke. Her doctor explained that chronic dehydration, especially after exercise, had likely played a major role. The fix is simple. Before your walk, drink a glass of water. Afterward, drink another. Around 8 to 16 ounces before and after a walk can make a big difference. And if you're walking in hot weather or sweating heavily, you'll need more. Now that we've explored these 6 surprising habits, let's close with a warm reminder. Walking is a gift, simple, free, and deeply healing. But like any gift, it comes with responsibility. The way we walk, when we walk, and how we prepare can either protect our health or slowly chip away at it. These habits may seem small, even harmless, but over time they carry real weight, especially as we grow older and our bodies become more sensitive to change. Remember, walking should bring peace, not pressure. With just a few mindful adjustments, hydrating, choosing the right time of day, watching your posture, you can keep your walks safe, energizing, and truly beneficial. No drastic changes needed, just a little more awareness and a lot more care. Keep books or screens at eye level so your head doesn't dip forward. If you spend time looking down, pause regularly to roll your shoulders back and lift your chin. Just a minute or two makes a big difference. Even something as simple as sitting tall and breathing deeply helps reset your body. Inhale, let your chest rise, and feel yourself open up. So the next time you notice yourself curling forward, smile, sit back, and give your brain the space and circulation it needs.